Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting to you live inside DPAS Laboratory at Barangay Anonas in the city of Urdaneta, the province of Pangasinan, the Republic of the Philippines. This is your host slash racer slash marshal slash producer slash director, all in one package at once. Don Patrick D. Palagilar here, proudly bringing you on live streaming on DPAT TV, Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. Our continuing coverage of our November 25, 2025 races here on DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2. Yush! Hello mga Lipat and good afternoon to all who are watching this live stream right now and for those who will be watching anytime here inside DPAS Laboratory as we go halfway through this month of November 2025. So finally, it's calm after the storm at last here in the Philippines as we bid farewell to the Super Typhoon Uwan now only a tropical storm and eventually becoming a tropical depression, and then it's still at the upper portion of the Philippine Air Responsibility Line, and it is about to melt down actually. So it will eventually melt down, becoming a low pressure area and eventually melt down due to the northeast monsoon or the Siberian winds as we call it here in the Philippines. Again, Don Patrick Di Paragila here for another live streaming of DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2 this Run and Gun Wednesday afternoon of November 12, 2025 as I start this live stream here on YouTube channel DPAT TV Don Patrick Aguilar. Please like, follow, share, subscribe to this channel for more Tamiya Mini 4-wheel drive racing action and some documentaries to be uploaded by yours truly. And to start up our edition, I would like to greet happy birthday today to my older brother Emerson Misolas Aguilar. To Kuya Emerson Aguilar, happy birthday today. Also to Senator Aimee Romualdez Marcos, to Aimee Marcos, happy birthday today, Madam Senator. Also, November 12. Also, to my friend and former classmate in high school, Melmar Castisimo David, hailing from Barangay Inamoran in Manawag, the province of Pangasinan as well. It's just it's also one of the 8 immediate neighbors of the city of Urdaneta, itong Manawag. Yep. Known for its famous minor basilica church in that mentioned municipality in the province. And yan, kay Love Mel, happy birthday today. To the 3 persons that I have mentioned today, happy birthday to all of you and to all our celebrators today, November 12. And in this November 12, 2025 edition rather, before we proceed with that, we would like to throw ourselves back to the calm before the storm edition last Friday instead of Monday. Again, I reiterate that I advanced the supposed to be November 10, 2025, but I advanced it to November 7, 2025 in anticipation for the catastrophic effects of Super Typhoon Uwan or Fung Wong in international names here in the Philippines. So I just advanced it. The schedule. I just moved the Manic Monday edition supposed to be to a Friday afternoon delight last November 7. So in that previous edition of BTL SMC Season 2, we got Zeta, Escolta, Unicosmos, Zenaco, Papa Roach, Cosmo Atomica, and Avatari raced it out. And in the 21 races of the single round robin, of course, and after those races, we got Escolta and Unicosmos topping the list with 10 points apiece, but due to the win over the other rule, it went out to be Escolta grabbing that tiebreaker against Unicosmos, making it the top seeded car going to the race ops. And Unicosmos with us relegated to the second seed, then Zeta relegated to third with a solo third actually with 7 points total. And the last race ops slot went to Cosmo Atomica with a total of 6 points. That's solo fourth. So yung 5, 2, and 2, unfortunately, they did very well early on. Eliminated early. So, was unable to make it to the next round. So it was Escolta versus Cosmo Atomica in the 1 versus 4 matchup of the race offs in the semifinals. The other semifinal pairing was Unicosmos versus Zeta. And in the first of the two semifinals races, it was Unicosmos versus Zeta, 2 versus 3 matchup respectively. It was indeed another epic matchup between the two champion of the month awardees, but at the final 2 laps of the race, Unicosmos never looked back and eventually won against Zeta in 6 laps. Walang embang po. Walang embang na nangyari doon. And talagang race kung race. As in lap after lap after lap. They exchanging haymakers. Let's just say haymakers. And when it comes to boxing or fist fights, we call it haymakers. Talagang mga big shot after big shot ang nangyari doon. But eventually at the last 2 laps, Unicosmos retained the lead and never looked back, and eventually winning it. And of course, bringing itself back to the championship race. And on the other end, Escolta was able to escape Cosmo Atomica's rampage. And Escolta again returned to the championship race to face Unicosmos right there. In the bronze medal race, we got Zeta versus Cosmo Atomica. Raced it out. And with the race it out for the bronze. And Zeta was unable to catch up with Cosmo Atomica. And eventually Cosmo Atomica won it over Zeta in 6 laps. No re-race whatsoever. Wala pong naging re-race na nangyari nitong Friday, November 7, which was again supposed to be Monday. So, yan. Kaya ngayon lang natin tutuloy yung game 4. As scheduled, syempre. In advance ko lang bali yung game 3. So that makapaghanda po tayo sa dun sa bagyong uwan. No? And in the championship race, on the other end, Unicosmos went on to win over Escolta. Escolta again fell short in the championship race, but then again, Escolta was able to add 2 more aggregate points on its tally this month. So yeah, so Unicosmos was the champion once again. That's the second already this month of November 2025 after 3 race days. So podium finishers last November 7, 2025 were as follows. Unicosmos as champion, +3 on aggregate, +2 on aggregate si Escolta ulit after winning second place, and third place won by Cosmo Atomica, adding scoring finally putting itself on the board on the scoreboard on aggregate scoring this month of November 2025. So there are 5 race cars scored. Unicosmos with a total of 7 with the lead, followed by Zeta's 5 points, then Escolta's 4 points, and Cosmo Atomica and Ferreira with 1 point apiece. So yun pa lang po yung mga naka-score for this month of November 2025. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look back to my notebook. If I remember it right. Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes indeed. My statement was correct. So it's alright. Okay, so without further ado, let's now proceed right away with our edition today on the Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2, begin our race number 1 of the 21 races of the single round robin for this Run and Gun Wednesday edition. Once again, Don Patrick D. Pataguilar here with the call of our let's see if it is as exciting as above or much better. So let's see here in our race day number 4 of the scheduled 8-rounder for the month of November 2025 here on DCL SMC Season 2 live streaming here on DPAT TV, Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. So without further ado, let's proceed right away with our race number 1 this November 12, 2025. Beginning with our race between the Let's and Go villains. It's the Big Spider Zeta going up against Ferreira, the Brocken Giant, to start off our Run and Gun Wednesday festivities here on DTL SMC Season 2. Alright, so in our race number 1, it's going to be lane 1 for Zeta and lane 2 for Ferreira, being their respective starting lanes. So it's 1-2, 1-2 this time around. The first race, or the odd-numbered races, will be lane 1 for the higher seed. And then it's alternate from there on. And then for semifinals number 2 and championship race, it's going to be lane 1 for the higher seed. There are a total of 25 races. 21 in the single round robin, then 2 in the semifinals. 1 race for third and 1 championship race. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin right away our festivities here With Zeta starting at lane 1, Ferreira starting at lane 2 to kick off our Run and Gun Wednesday action here on DTL SMC Season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this race up. Let's get these races started with this race. Number 1. Ready, set, fight. Good. Get up ahead. Ferreira trying to catch up. And with the lead. Second drop, hit back. Kilometer stop. Ano na? Medyo may mag-review. Muntik pang ano? Muntik pang nabitin. Muntik pang nabitin si Zeta ron eh. Alright. Zeta with a good start to kick off our Run and Gun Wednesday action here on DTL SMC Season 2 with a win over Ferreira. So it's going to be Brocken Gigant versus Sonic in our race number 4 later on. So the loser of that race number 1 will face the top car, the champion, the defending champion first. Yun yung parang second assignment ng matatalo sa race 1. Yan ang usual format po natin. Zeta 1 over Ferreira in our race number 1. That was a good one actually. Race number 2. Race number 2, it's going to be a rat race on the racetracks when Cosmo Atomica and T-Mac Avatari collide in our race number 2. And for this matchup, it's going to be Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2. T-Mac Avatari at lane 1. So identical with their respective colors. T-Mac Avatari starting at the blue lane or lane 1. And Cosmo Atomica will be starting at the red lane or lane 2 for our race number 2. Ready, set, bye. Now you see. Still good. And now with that, final lane changer for Cosmo Atomica. Still good. On to the final lap. Alright. Good run. Good run for both cars. Cosmo Atomica winner. Alright. Winner. Oy, Zeta Cosmo Atomica, yung race number ano? Race number, ano to? Race number 5. Mamaya. Uy, gandang laban to. T-Mac lost. Talagang laban kung laban ang nangyayari sa ating November 2025 palibasa at track. The first of the two races, the first of the two Super 2 rivalries in our race number 3, right away, Ascolta takes on Stargate. Alright, this is going to be an exciting one for sure. Race number 3, wherein Ascolta, the Shining Scorpion, taking on the Merlion edition in Stargate. And for this matchup, I have to flip to show it to the camera. Where the respective starting lanes for the cars is going to be Escolta here, starting at lane 1, and Stargate will be starting at the red lane, which is lane 2. Again, Escolta starting at lane 1, the pink one, the red one, Stargate starting at lane 2 in this race number 3. Ready, set, bye. Nice. Go again. Paradik. Tembang agad. Aray, upo, gogong. Again. Again, dugi. Dagu. Aray, dati, agad. Aray, upo. Gugi. Mukhang kailangan ko ilipat ka official timeout tayo. There's a lull in the action right now. Simply because because of this one. So I have to, I guess, Maybe the best that I can do here is to put that back. Or maybe not. I guess not. I guess that's just good. Draw. 3 draw. Fire score south target. First score south. Race number 4. It's a race between the first of the 3 races among the FM cars, the front motor cars in our race number 4. It's Unicosmos trying to defend its title once again. This time it will Unicosmos will face Ferreira in our race number 4 first. And for this matchup, it's going to be Unicosmos starting at lane 2, Ferreira at lane 1. Again, Ferreira starting at lane 1, Unicosmos starting at lane 2 in this race number 4. Ready, set, bye. Good. Okay, good. Penultimate lap. Final lap. Winner. Upset victory. Upset victory. Kaya yun? Tanggal. Ano kaya yun? Bigla nang hina. Ano kaya yun? Ano ba yung ginamit kong baterya? Yung ano pala, ibang battery pala. Ferreira with an upset victory over Unicosmos. Alright. Winner. Ferreira won. 1-all. Mukhang maganda ngayon yung condition ni Ferreira. Race number 5. Race number 5 right away. We got here another epic matchup coming up here when Cosmo Atomica meets Zeta. So the race for third matchup is on us in our race number 5. And in this rematch from the previous race for the bronze, it's going to be Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 1. And Zeta will start this time at lane 2 again. Zeta starting at lane 2, Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 1 in this race. Number 5. Ready, set, bye. Go ahead. Final lap. Ano pala, ginto ka. Buti na lang. Buti na lang, nakuha ko rin. Sa lane 2 pala. Zeta settling the score against Cosmo Atomica, avenging its loss in the previous race for third. Alright. So Twin Unicosmos will battle it out in our race number 8 later. To 0 na si Zeta. Race number 6. Race number 6, we have here T-Mac Avatari taking on Stargex. So it's a race between the limited edition cars. Car kits, the limited edition Era Avante taking on the Merline edition for our race number 6. And in this matchup, T-Mac Avatari will start at lane 2, Stargate at lane 1. So that's opposite to the respective colors. Once again, at the blue lane, it's Stargate, and at the red lane, T-Mac Avatari as their respective starting lanes in this race number 6. Ready, set, bye. Go. Grabe. Hadukin. Nahadukin. Aray ko po. Pog. Di makabatari first course up. Race 7. Race number 7 right now. We got here. Race number 7, we got here Escolta taking on Ferreira. So it's Shining Scorpion versus Brock and Chika. Race number 7. And in this matchup, it's going to be Ferreira starting at lane 2. And Escolta will start at lane 1. So that's identical with its color, the red one. The red lane or lane 2, that's the starting lane of Ferreira. And Escolta will start at the blue lane or lane 1 in this race number 7. Ready, set, fight. First course out. Good. Penultimate lap. Final lap. Okay. Upset victory. Aray ko. Ferreira nakatikim na naman ng laso ng alakdan. Kamandag ng alakdan. The Scorpion Sting strikes again as Escolta emerges victorious over Ferreira. Alright. Ferreira Tipak. Ferreira lost to Escolta. Green. 3 points, Escolta. The race between the twin Cosmos Sonics in our race number 8 as Unicosmos takes on Cosmo Atomica once again. And in our race number 8, it's going to be Unicosmos starting at lane 2. Cosmo Atomica at lane 1. Again, Unicosmos starting at lane 2. And Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 1. In this race number 8. Ready, set, bye. Uy, patay! Good. Good. Penultimate lap. Final lap. Okay. Winner. Nakaganti rin. Nakaganti. Cosmo Atomica wins settling the score against its fellow Cosmosonic Unicosmos. Alright. So, unsyami muna yung championship race battle ni Escolta at ni Unicosmos. Dalawa na, talo ni Unicosmos, panay imbang. Race number 8 na pala yan. Diyan ako uminom pala. Hydration break content. Race number 9. Race number 9. We got here race number 9, the second of the 3 Super 2 rivalries for our race number 9. We got here Zeta taking on Stargek. It's a Zeta versus Stargek race between fluorescent yellow and red Super 2 chassis machines. And in this matchup, it's going to be Zeta starting at lane 1. Okay, right here. Zeta will start here at lane 1. Stargek will be starting here at lane 2. So it's identical with its respective color, which is the red lane. Again, Zeta starting at lane 1, Stargate starting at lane 2 in this race, number 9. Ready, set, fight. Good. lap, final lane, yun lang. Final lap. Good. What a race. Just when we thought Stargate was about to steal that victory from Zeta, but unfortunately, at the final lane changer, Stargate was unable to manage its stability, paving the way for Zeta's cruising to the finish line with ease and eventually victorious against Stargate. All right. Loser. Stargate lost to Zeta. Six points. Zeta now has 6 points. Next, race number 10. Team-up Ferreira. Race number 10, we now have Ferreira taking on T-Mac Avatari. And in our race number 10, T-Mac Avatari will start at lane 1, Ferreira at lane 2. So it's identical with the respective colors because Ferreira is the higher seeded here. So Ferreira will start at the red lane or lane 2, while T-Mac Avatari will start at the blue lane or lane 1 in this race number 10. Ready, set, bike. Rocky! Bumitin yung Magnum Tornado. Nabazooka, Nico, Bibogong. Winner. Sino yung last score sa Pereira? Tapos na. Okay, T-Mac na. Loser na. Winner ngayon antay nito. Pereira. Or si Cosmo ka pala. Green. Red. First up, T-Mac Avatari. Race 11. Escolta Cosmo. O rematch ng semis. Rematch of the semifinals matchup this time around. Of the previous semifinals. It's going to be Escolta taking on Cosmo Atomica. So let's see if Cosmo Atomica can score exact vengeance over Escolta in our race number 11. And for this matchup, Escolta will start at lane 1. Cosmo Atomica at lane 2. Once again, it's Escolta starting at lane 1. Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2 in this race number 11. Ready, set, fight. Yon. Okay. Penultimate lap, final finger. Still good, final lap. Nakabawi. Nabawian. Nabawian si Escolta. Aray ko po. Nabawian. Cosmo Atomica with an upset victory against Escolta, avenging its loss in previous semifinals matchup. Alright. Winner o loser ngayon ang tenitong dala. Tapos na siya kay Stargate. Ayun na. Race 15 pala yung rematch from the previous championship. Yun ni Cosmos won. Escolta lost to Cosmo Atomica. Race number 12. Race number 12, we now have Uni Cosmos taking on Stargate. So it's the battle of the Reds in our race number 12. And in this matchup, it's going to be Uni Cosmos starting at lane 2, Stargate at lane 1. Okay? Uni Cosmos starting at the red lane or lane 2. At the blue lane, it's going to be Stargate. With that starting lane in this race number 12. Ready, set, bye. game, okay. Go. Draw game. Unicosmos per CO. Unicosmos per CO. Draw game. Remaining assignment for Stargate, Cosmo Atomica, Ferreira. O yun, maglaban pala sa ano. Ganun din si Ferreira, Stargate. Yun din ang remaining assignment ni Cosmo Atomica. Tapos si ano naman, si T-Mac, si ano, Ferreira, Cosmo Stargate din, parehas. Parehas pala. Sila rin pala matitira na assignment. Okay, race number 13. Medyo hinihinga ng inyo pong lingkod, kulang kasi sa tulog. Ang hirap talaga pag parang madalas, parang wala tayong karapatang magpahinga, ang hirap. Race number 13, we got here Zeta taking on Team Makabatari. Alright, Zeta versus Team Makabatari in our race number 13. And for this matchup, there's going to be Zeta starting at lane 1, Team Makabatari starting at lane 2. Again, Team Makabatari at lane 2 and Zeta at lane 1 as their respective starting lanes in this race. Number 13. Ready, set, bye. Hi. Parang buhay-buhay ito sa kapila eh. And ultimate lap. Final lap. Winner. Zeta remaining undefeated as it emerged victorious over Team Makabatari. Waiting na yan. Zeta at si T-Mac tapos ni. Wala na. Ano na yan. Waiting na. Zeta 1 over T-Mac. Okay, race number 14. Ferreira Cosmo. Race number 14, we now have Cosmo Atomica taking on Ferreira. Alright, so that's the last race between the front motor cars in our race number 14. So yung una, Unicosmos, Ferreira po, Unicosmos, then Unicosmos, Cosmo Atomica, and now it's Cosmo Atomica versus Ferreira. In our race number 14, the last of the three races of cars. And in this matchup, it's going to be Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2, Ferreira lane 1. Again, Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2, Ferreira starting at lane 1 in this race number 14. Ready, set, bye. Nabadolan ko, ba't diba? Wagogin. Aray ka pa. Kasasabi lang na nabasukan ni Cobalt B, yun din palang nangyari. Aray ko, draw game. First course out. So remaining assignment for Ferreira is Stargate. Ano ba yung huli? Winner. Si Stargate, si Cosmo Atomica, sinong remaining assignment niya? Stargate. Parehas sila. Parehas pala sila. So, yung ano na. Ano ba yung huling na ano doon? Ano ba yung huling na ano doon? Teka. Ano yung huling na ano natin pala? Uso na nga ba? Hindi, ano yung huli? Ito yung 13 eh. Kaya lang ano yun yung winning, losing. Tapos na pala. O mga final assignment na niya pala yung mga yan. No? Waiting siya. So yung si Stargate ano siya, nanggaling siya sa tapos ito sumunod yung kalaban, tapos sumunod yung kalaban si ano. Escolta. Then si Stargate. Ano nanggaling siya sa last course o de winner. Winner kalaban niya. Winner. Winner na kalaban niya. Draw pala, no? Draw si Cosmo Ferreira. First course out si Ferreira. Pareho pala ng last assignment si Cosmo at si Ferreira. Si Stargate din yung pareho nilang last assignment. Alright. Race number 15 na po tayo. Okay. So it's the race, the rematch from the previous championship race is upon us in our race number 15. Unicosmos with a rematch against Escolta. Our race number 15, and in this matchup, Unicosmos will start at lane 1, Escolta at lane 2. Once again, Unicosmos starting at lane 1, and Escolta starting at lane 2 in Friday afternoon championship race in our race number 15. Ready, set, fight. Escolta with a big start. First course out pa. Login. Draw. Unicosmos, first course up. Draw. So, first course out. First course out si Unicosmos. Tapos, red. 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 Unicosmos red. So, first course out, sino yung natalo kanina? T-Mac. Diba? Patama, UC T-Mac. T-Mac Kabatari, yung dalawa na lang. Yung dalawa na lang na to. Yung huling kalaban niya. Si naman, si Zeta. Si Escolta. Winner. Last course out si Escolta. Tama. Race 16. Okay. Final assignment for Cosmo Atomica. So, Cosmo Atomica will finish first in our single robin today. Cosmo Atomica takes on Stargate in its final assignment in our race number 16. So last assignment na to for Cosmo Atomica, yung laro niya karera niya against Stargate. And in this matchup, Cosmo Atomica will start at lane 2, Stargate at lane 1. Again, Stargate starting at lane 1, Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2 in this race number 16. Ready, set, fight. Good. Bitin. Good. Pinag-train ka. Pag nakamulo, okay na. Okay. Winner. Target. Okay lang yan. Okay lang. 3 second rule naman eh. Wala pa naman 3 seconds, so it's alright. Kaso nahabol. Nahabol pa rin. So, Stargate was just too much for Cosmo Atomica to handle. So, unfortunately for Cosmo Atomica, Cosmo Atomica will end its campaign in a loss against Stargate. Stargate victorious over Cosmo Atomica. So, Cosmo Atomica, taob. Alisin ko na dito. Yan. So, 6 na lang at the last 5. Alright. Red. Talo si Unicosmos kay Stargate. Kay si Cosmo Atomica talo kay Stargate. Nasundan eh. Kala natin iimbang eh. Hindi pala. Okay pa. Alright. I have to drink first. Gotta drink first. Nakakalabing-anim na race na pala. 16 races down, and we're down to last 5. Down to our last 5 races in our single round robin today. And in our race number 17, we got here Escolta taking on Zeta. So the last of the Super 2 rivalries in our race number 17 between Escolta and Zeta. It's pink versus fluorescent yellow in our race number 17. And in this matchup, Escolta will start at lane 1, right here. And Zeta will start at lane 2. Again, 17, it's Shining Scorpion versus Big Spider right here. Ready, set, bye. Right out. Balance it Escolta. Stay white. Penultimate lap, final lane changer. Good, final lap. Winner. Zeta avenging its loss against Escolta with that win. Alright. So Zeta's final assignment will be against Unicosmos actually. While Escolta will deal with Timac Avatari as its final assignment. Tama lang pala. So si Unicosmos ang huling matapos pala rito. So that's good. Escolta with its second loss. On the verge of making a perfect 12 for Zeta. If Zeta beats Unicosmos and that's a perfect, it's automatic number 1 going to the playoffs or to race ups rather. Race number 18, it's a race between my backstock entries. Sa ating race number 18, we got Unicosmos taking on Timac Avatari. So ito yung mga race cars ko sa backstock category. Sa ating mga DTL on tour. Mga on-tour races ng inyo pong lingkod sa ating race number 18 wherein Unicosmos will start at lane 2 and Timac Avatari will start at lane 1. So that's identical with their respective colors. At the blue lane or lane 1 is Timac Avatari and at the red lane or lane 2 it's Unicosmos having those respective starting lanes in this race number 18. Ready, set, bye. Ayan na natin ito. Ay! Gogeng. Bumibitin. Dapat talaga malakas. Dapat talaga malakas yung baterya. Gogeng. Ayan. Ayan yung mga last assignments. Tama yan. First course out, Unicosmos ulit. Puro first course out pala to. Ano ba ito? Namalita yun ng tansya. Okay, so down to last 3. Papunta tayo doon. Pwede ring mag-reverse na lang doon o pwede mag-reverse na lang doon mamaya. Race number 19. We got here Ferreira taking on Stargate. Again, it's another race between the Reds in our race number 19. And for this matchup, it's going to be Ferreira starting at lane 1. And Stargate will start at lane 2. Again, Stargate starting at lane 2, Ferreira starting at lane 1 in this race number 19. Ready, set, fight. Basuka! Sabi ko na vlogging. Sabi ko na, basuka Sabi ko na, basuka na naman Chagumi. Kasi palibasa kasi tinanggal ko nung Sunday. Tinanggal ko siya nung Sunday kasi baka pasukan na naman kami ng baha. Umano sa Nando. I was traumatized by Typhoon Nando when it made landfall here in the province of Pangasinan. So that's why I uninstalled. I uninstalled this one section actually. Okay, draw. Draw tayo kaya. Last two. Last two na lang. Okay. Target, first course out. Alright. Tisang panalo. Kaya lang, mas maraming points si Target. Nako, delikado pa si Pereira pala. Race number 20, the penultimate race of our elimination round for this Run and Gun Wednesday edition. We got here Escolta taking on Timac Avatari. Alright. Alright, in race number 20, it's going to be Escolta starting at lane 2. Timac Avatari, identical with his color, starting at the blue lane or lane 1. Again, Timac Avatari starting at lane 1, Escolta starting at lane 2 in our 20th and penultimate race of our elimination round, this Run and Gun Wednesday edition. Ready, set, bye. Good. Penultimate lap, final lane leader. Still good, final lap. Nagtino na sa dulo. Ang maganda doon, nagtino sa dulo. Buti na lang. Sakto lang, sakto. Escolta closing out its elimination round campaign with a victory over Timac Avatari. So unfortunately for Timac Avatari, that might be farewell for the meantime, for later kasi ano, tatlong talo, posible pang matanggal later. Tingnan natin. Escolta, mukhang makakaligtas pa sa Final Four. Last but definitely not the least is our race number 21, which is probably the ultimate showdown for the ages. Showdown of the century sa ating race number 21 between Unicosmos and Zeta. The champion of the month awardees na ngayong season 2 sa DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference. The other being Avatari. One over race off against Timac Avatari noong October, last month lang po. So in our race number 21, we got Unicosmos taking on Zeta, wherein Unicosmos will start at lane 1, Zeta at lane 2. Again, Unicosmos starting at lane 1, Zeta starting at lane 2 in our 21st and final race of the elimination round, this Run and Gun Wednesday. Ready, set, fight! Zeta with a big start. Pasok ka! Hindi. Hindi ka pa ikaalis yun. Ano yung team? Hindi. Penultimate lap, final lane changer. So, final lap. At least sino. Doon lang naman nagka-problema sa section yun. Dapat talaga meron na yun. Parang. Closing out the elimination round in style is Zeta after beating Unicosmos. Alright, so that wraps up our 21 races in the single round robin with Zeta sealing the deal with a perfect 12 points. Perfect 6-0. So top seed, definitely. Top seed na si Zeta, Matic. Perfect 12, perfect 12 points. Sinweep lahat ng mga kalaban. Winaris lahat ng mga kalaban. Alright. So with this ending in the 21 races of the single round robin, we will now have to tabulate and finalize the final forecast during the break. So when we get back, It's going to be the final results, going to the race ops, to be followed right away with semifinals races, race for the bronze, and championship race. All of these and more of Tamiya Mini Four-Wheel Drive Racing action here when DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2 returns on DPAT TV. Stay tuned for more. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, mga kadipat, mga kadetail, at mga katamiya, Don Patrick Dipa Aguilar here bringing you back to DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2 live stream on DPAT TV, Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. And as we continue our live stream here, we are done with the 21 races in the single round robin are over and done with, and we already have the results here. So we already have the results. We have determined the final forecast. Again, It's going to be Zeta dominating the entire competition at the moment with a perfect 12. All 6 races won. With all the 6 races of Zeta won. Zeta emerging victorious on all of those 6 cars, all of the 6 races against 6 other oppositions with a perfect score of 12 points, making it the top seed, obviously. And then the second seed went to Cosmo Atomica with 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. So that's far second with 7 points total. And yung dalawang nag 6 points, Escolta and Stargate at uh, tied at third place, but due to the number of wins, they both ended in a draw actually. Both Escolta and Stargate ended in a draw with with the Stargate coursing out first. So therefore, it's going to be Escolta garnering the tiebreaker against Stargate, making it the third seeded car going to the race ops. And surprisingly, yeah, first time this month of November 2025, Stargate will be able to enter the semifinals round after finishing fourth with 1 win and 4 draws, or 1-4-1 in wins, 1-1-4 in wins, losses, and draws respectively. So that's 1 win, 1 loss, 4 draws. And yun nga lang, yung number of wins kasi si Escolta kasi merong dalawang panalo. O, tigalaw actually, it's a split for Escolta with 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. So, a pair of wins, losses, and draws respectively. So, it happened to be Escolta with the tiebreaker against Alstadic. So, the race off cast is set with Zeta, Cosmo Atomica, Escolta, and Stargate entering the race ops. While Ferreira will bid farewell early along with Timac Avatari and Unicosmos. Unfortunately, Unicosmos was booted out early, so possibly dead last siya. So, hindi ko na dinetermine kung anong placing niya. So, babalik si Unicosmos, Timac Avatari at si Ferreira sa darating na Miyerkules ulit. Sa ating race day number 6, game 6. Doon na lang siya ibabalik ulit. So, papalitan sila ni Papa Roach, Avatari, at ni Zenaku on Monday, November 17. Alright. So, the semifinals cast is set with semifinals number 1 pairing being Cosmo Atomica versus Escolta in our 2 versus 3 matchup, followed by semifinals number 2 between Zeta and Stargate, 1 versus 4 matchup respectively. So, without further ado, let's proceed right away with our race ops. The race ops will begin in our semifinals number 1, featuring the second seeded car Cosmo Atomica taking on car Escolta. So rematch na naman sila sa ating semifinals round. So in our semifinals number 1, it's going to be Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2. Escolta at lane 1. Again, Escolta starting at lane 1. Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 2. It looks like there's one of our neighbors having their electricity restored. So that's why there are some people shouting for joy actually. So hopefully it's a positive sign. So hopefully that's a positive sign, hindi yung nag-aaway. No, I think it's a shout for joy from one of the neighbors having their electrical power brought back by the electrical operatives being successful with their restoration jobs, right? So that's why I speak English for that, so that the other foreign viewers will understand what's going on here in the country. So that's why I speak English. And that's good. As my former instructor at PhilCST Calasiao, at Philippine College of Science and Technology Calasiao, my professor said to us before, as students, as her fellow students, the late Mariel Cristobal Tapias once said, "Speak English and you own the world." That's the phrase. That's actually the phrase imprinted on the back of the MASCOM uniforms. The T-shirt actually being the uniform of the MASCOM students. It is written as "Speak English and you own the world." So. That's here I am right now. Alright. One thing dirt. I put a little dirt because it's too fast, so I have to adjust. So I have to make some minor adjustments here. Alright mga ka-DPAT, mga ka-DTL, at mga ka-Tamiya, ladies and gentlemen, while you're still watching our live, or continuing live stream of DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2 here on YouTube channel DPAT TV with yours truly, Don Patrick DPAT Aguilar here, bringing you all the Tamiya Mini Power Glove racing action. And without further ado, let's begin right away our race off pace with our semifinals number 1. Ready, set, fight. Then let's hold on. Then ultimate lap. Final lap. Oh, that was good. Escolta back at the finals once again for 3 straight race days. What a feat! What a streak for Escolta in our semifinals number 1, with a blazingly fast start, and was able to stabilize itself and holding on to the lead until the 6-lap requirement is over and done with and it's going to be Escolta back at the championship race once more for the 3rd straight race day this month of November 2025 upon defeating Cosmo Atomica. Wow! What an amazing run. What an amazing display of speed and stability. A much improved speed and stability right there for Escolta to bring itself back to the championship race once again. So let's see if we are about to see another rematch against Zeta, or another challenger will show up in the championship race later on. So without further ado, let's find it out in our semifinals number 2 with Zeta, the top so far without any defeat, trying to keep its winning streak against Stargate in our semifinals number 2. And in this matchup, it's going to be Zeta starting at lane 1, Stargate lane 2. Once again, Stargate starting at lane 2, Zeta starting at lane 1. So identical with its color. Stargate will start at its own color, own lane color, which is red. Alright. So I have to put a lot of dirt this time around for Stargate because it's too fast. Stargate is running too fast. By the way, they are the entire this Run and Gun Wednesday edition so far has been dominated by the Super 2 chassis machines. The Super 2 chassis have done it. The Super 2 machines have done it for this time around. They have dominated. Will there be a 1, 2, 3 sweep here? Let's see about that later. Alright. Alright mga ka-DPAT, mga ka-DTL, mga ka-Tamiya, ladies and gentlemen, our fellow countrymen, here now is our semi-finals number 2. Ready, set, fight. Good. Good. And ultimate lap, final lane changer. Good. Final lap. Is there an upset? Oh my God, it's an upset. Wow. That was indeed a major upset right there, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. What a victory by Stargate over Zeta. Again, likewise, like in our first semifinals matchup between Escolta and Cosmo Atomica, Escolta was able to manage its speed and stability. So does Stargate against Zeta in our semifinals number 2. It was indeed a major upset, and Stargate will win against Zeta and eventually entering itself in the championship race with a minimum with its first 2 points at least, to say the least, with at least 2 points scored, first 2 points or 3 points on aggregate this month of November 2025. Holy smoke! What an upset victory it was! Just when we thought Stargate was about to course out, but somehow able to manage its speed and stability against a veteran in Zeta, a two-time champion of the month awardee no less. Wow! Pardon my reaction right there. Sino ba namang commentator ang di mapapasigaw nun? Nakita ba naman yung mga exciting play na o mga clutch baskets sa basketball, di ba? Gabing clutch, ano yan? Clutch victory yung. Alright. So without further ado, let's just move on immediately with our race for third. Alright. So, tsaka natin balikan yan pag naiano na sa YouTube. Possible, ano yan? Possible race of the day. Possible, semis number 2. Possible. Alright, so in our race for third. Okay. Race for the bronze, we now have Zeta is number 1. Cosmo is number 3. 2. Number 2. Yung mga nasa lower seed pa pala, yung nakapasok ng finals. Mantakay mo yan. Mantakay mo yan. Yung mga lower seeded cars will enter the championship round. That's very seldom when it comes to actual competition. It's very seldom that we see the lower seeded cars from the semifinals race-ups going through, moving on to the championship race together. And they will face each other for the championship later on. Alright, race for third right away. We got here Zeta, the top seeded car, going up against the third seeded car, the second seeded car, Cosmo Atomica rather. So, it's going to be Zeta starting at lane 2, Cosmo lane 1. Again, Zeta starting at lane 2, Cosmo Atomica starting at lane 1 in this race for third. Another epic matchup possible. Again, so let's see later in our championship race between Escolta and Stargate if this will be the same. If that will be the same, or will Stargate put an end to its misery for a while? Maybe for about almost a week. Almost a week, a little less a week. Alright. Alright, alugin ko na rin. Wala na, nakasara yung motor eh. Alright, mga kadipat, mga kaditil at mga katamiya, our fellow countrymen, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble here in this race for the bronze, for our Run and Gun Wednesday edition today, DTL SMC Season 2 this November 12, 2025. Once again, happy birthday kay Kuya Emel. Yan. Once again, para kay Senator Amy Marcos, happy birthday. Also to Milmar David, happy birthday today. Alright, it's now time for our race for the bronze. First to make 6 laps. Ready, set, 5. Good. Settle it up. Penultimate lap. Final finger, step up. Final lap. That's easy. That's where the easy wins. That's going to be an easy win. Zeta with the back. Zeta finally settling a score against its fellow champion of the month awardee Cosmo Atomica. So as of today, we got the twin Cosmosonics, Unicosmos and Cosmo Atomica making it to the Grand Prix, along with Zeta and Avatari. Avatari, the Aero Avante Blue, the original Aero Avante that is, which is 18701 in the car kit. The first ever Rev Series car, the first ever AR chassis car in Tamiya Mini 4-wheel drive history since 1982. Since 2012, AR was first introduced actually in 2012, yung AR chassis. Alright, it's going to be Zeta emerging victorious over Cosmo Atomica to grab additional 1 aggregate point, making total of 6 points. So possibly there's a possible tie between Escolta and Zeta after today's race day. After 4 race days, this is possibly a tie between Zeta and Escolta. Should Escolta lose to Stargate? Kung matatalo si Escolta ulit kay Stargate sa championship race natin, ano na yon, tabla sila. Magiging tabla sila ni Zeta. Zeta currently has 5. So after winning the third place finish, with additional 1 point on its aggregate tally this month, Zeta now has a total of 6. While Stargate will have its first 2 or 3 points on aggregate, while Escolta will either tie or lead. Actually, Escolta will actually tie with either Unicosmos or Zeta, depending on this championship race today, which is right now. We have here Escolta taking on Stargate in our championship race. The first time ever, first time in a long while that a Super 2 chassis machine, a pair of Super 2 chassis machines going at it for the championship. The first time in a long while that we're going to see the rivalry of Super 2 chassis machines in the championship race. So, in our championship race for today, it's going to be Escolta starting at lane 1, and Stargate will start at lane 2 once again. So, it's Stargate at lane 2, and Escolta at lane 1 as their respective starting lanes. In this, what could possibly be another epic matchup? I'll put a little bird and then a little thing. Maraming bang pa. Mahirap na. Okay. Dragon's Breath activate because they're both Super 2 chassis cars. So I can be able to put some air inside the motor because we're not allowed to open the motor. If it's an open motor, it's already DQ. We're DQ or disqualified. So the only way to do that or to increase pump, possibly increase a little, just a little bit, just to put excess oil inside the motor, you know. That's just one of the strategies the racers being used in any Tamiya Mini Forward Drive actual competitions. No? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, mga kadipa, alright mga kadipat, mga kadetail, mga katami at mga kababayan, for some people watching around the world through our live stream here on DPAT TV on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble here in this championship race to culminate our Run and Gun Wednesday festivities here on DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2. This Run and Gun Wednesday afternoon of November 12, 2025. First to make 6 laps. Here we go. Ready, set, start. Started with the lead. Oh! And ultimate lap. Final lap, I'm going to be Escolta win the championship for the first time. Holy smoke! Escolta has done it! Escolta, the shiny scorpion, has finally done it! Wow! The pink shining scorpion, Escolta, has finally done it after 3 tries in the championship race. Bridesmaid no more. Escolta is now bridesmaid no more, as Escolta will finally earn its first ever finally win its first championship in the history of DPAT's Tamiya League upon beating Stargate. But nevertheless, Stargate was indeed a good run, and it was indeed a good fight for between those two Super 2 chassis machines, and it was actually a dominating fashion. So the Super 2 chassis machines in dominant fashion, winning in dominant fashion right here. So, at least, finally, the Shining Scorpion Escolta has finally earned its right to be called a champion in Dipat's Tamiya League. Wow! Wow! Wow, that was exciting. Ay, nga pala, may upuan pala doon. That was indeed an exciting race day number 4 of 8 as we move halfway through, as we move forward halfway through the, month of November 2025. Dating ng weekends, swelduhan na, yan. Okay, before we close up, before we do the recap and close out this live stream, we would like to cordially invite everyone to our Tamiya Mini 4-Wheel Drive Speed Tech Race event, another chapter in our DTL under our DPAT's Tamiya League on tour this coming Sunday, November 16, 2025. By the way, advance happy birthday to Maria Ruby Aguilar Andaya on November 16, this coming Sunday. Yan. So, babatiin ko na rin. So, sa evening with DPAT Aguilar, hahabol din ako ng mga pabati on November 14. Alright. So, ayan nga po, I cordially invite everyone sa makilahok, makisaya dun sa natin, sa sasalihan natin Speed Tech event sa Robinson's Place, Pangasinan in the municipality of Calasiao, Pangasinan. Hopefully, din sa mga kababayan natin sa Calasiao, hope you stay safe and dry. And I think it's still at the critical, the Marusay River is currently at the critical level so far. Hopefully, it goes down. Hopefully, by tomorrow, it will decrease even further, so that we can finally get on with our lives once again in a more positive manner, you know. All right. So, as we recap our exciting race day number 4 of 8, this November 12, 2025, again, we got Unicosmos Escolta, Cosmo Atomica, Zeta Ferreira, Timac Avatari, and Stargek duke it out in the 21 races of the single round robin, wherein the top 4 cars after those 21 grueling races in the single round robin, it went out to be Zeta topping the charts with a perfect 6-0 with a perfect 12 points, garnering the top seed, followed by Cosmo Atomica's far second. Cosmo Atomica follows Zeta at far second with 7 points, 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and the third tied at third place were Escolta and Stargek na naglaban, mamaya may explain natin. Sina Escolta at Stargek na tabla sa number 3, but due to the number of, they both ended themselves in a draw with Stargek coursing out first. But when it comes to number of wins, Escolta was in favor against Stargek 2 against 1. So that's 2-1 in terms of number of wins, therefore Escolta garnered the third seed, while Stargate was relegated to the 4th and final seed to the race ops. And unfortunately, Ferreira finished 5th. Timac Avatari and Unicosmos finished dead last at the end of the 21 races in the single round robin for today. And in the semifinals matchup, it was Zeta versus Stargate. And semifinals number 1 was Cosmo Atomica versus Escolta. And Escolta was able to stabilize itself while running on high speed and eventually winning it in 6 laps against Cosmo Atomica, bringing itself back to the championship race once more for the 3rd straight race day. And what a great campaign it was. What a great campaign indeed for Escolta, making it to the championship race 3 straight times. That's thrice, the 3 consecutive race days. Escolta was able to make it to the championship race. And in the semifinals matchup, it was Zeta versus Stargek. And likewise, Stargek was able to finish the 6th lap requirement without any stumble against Zeta, while maintaining its speed against its lead as well against Zeta. And eventually, Stargek was able to finish 6 laps without getting forced out with eventually beating Zeta in that semifinals matchup. Setting that shot at destiny against Escolta for the championship. And in the race for the bronze, another chapter in the rivalry of Cosmo Atomica and Zeta, wherein Zeta was able to score an upset victory this time around against Cosmo Atomica. Zeta was just too much to handle for Cosmo Atomica, and eventually Zeta was able to add one more aggregate point this month in its in tally after finishing third place. And in the championship race, Escolta took on Stargate in our another epic championship race, wherein just when we thought Stargate was about to finish the race against Escolta, while unfortunately Stargate coursed out. We saw Escolta course out, tumalsik talaga dyan sa racetrack. Buti na lang, nadikit to sa lane changer lang. And surprisingly, Escolta was able to maintain its high speed at the same time maintaining its stability to finish the 6 laps and eventually winning finally its first ever DTL championship in its own history. And finally, bridesmaid no more is Escolta. At last, Escolta garnered the championship after today's race day. Alright, so the podium finishers after today's race day are as follows. Escolta finally winning its first championship in DTL history after 3 straight race days entering the championship race. So Escolta is now 1-2 in the championship race. So a total of 7 points, tying with Unicosmos on top of the car standings on aggregate, scoring this month of November 2025, followed by Stargate's first 2 points on aggregate after scoring a second place finish, and Zeta adding 1 more aggregate point on its total tally with a total of 6, in second actually, in third after in solo third with a total of 6 after finishing third place rather. So, yun po yung mga update po natin. Unicosmos and Escolta now tied on top of the aggregate scoring charts with 7 points apiece, followed by Zeta's 6. And then Stargate's 2 points at 4th so far. That's good. And then Cosmo, Atomica, and Ferreira tied at 1 point apiece. So, let's see at the as we start the second half on November 17, 2025, as we start the second half of the final 4 race days of the month of November 2025, magkaalaman na po talaga kung mapapanatili ni na Unicosmos, Escolta at Zeta yung kanilang mga lamang. So let's see if will there be another Champion of the Month award for either Unicosmos or Zeta, or will Escolta finally grab one in its rookie month here on DPAT's Tamiya League. So malalaman po natin yan as we go along, as we move forward in the second half of the November 2025, beginning November 17, 2025. So for now, this will do it for our race day number 4 of 8 in our Run and Gun Wednesday edition today on DTL SMC Season 2, this November 12, 2025, as regularly scheduled every Monday and Wednesday, unless there is if ever there are some emergency situation that we must go through. So we will this may vary actually, so we can vary the schedule actually, so we can reschedule as early or late. Sige, basta within November pa rin, set po natin ng tama, basta kung sakali may mga bagyo or if ever, no? Alright, so for now mga ka-DPAT, I'm signing off. Don Patrick DPAT Aguilar here for DPAT TV, Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. So once again, please like, follow, share, and subscribe for more Tamiya Mini 4-wheel racing action and some documentaries to be uploaded by yours truly. As well as my other social media platforms. It's at DPAT Tamiya League on TikTok, DPAT's Tamiya League, An Evening with DPAT Aguilar, and DPAT Aguilar, all those 3 on my Facebook. Those are my Facebook pages, by the way. Alright, aside from DPAT TV, Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. No? Alright, for now, I'm signing off. Thanking you so much once again to all who watch and whoever will watch anytime. And for all of the Tamiya Mini Pearl Drive Racing fans across the globe, hopefully you enjoyed this another exciting edition of DTL SMC Season 2. But for now, I remind everyone to stay safe and healthy, avoid negative vices, especially drugs and all other negativities around you, and protect yourselves from all those negativities at all times and at all costs as well. So once again, never forget to pray to God and be thankful always, every day, for God is good, God is great, God is almighty all the time. And as always, to God be all the glory and honor. God bless all of us, God bless our beloved Maharlika nation, and God bless the entire world and all of us Filipinos across the globe. And like I always remind each and every true Filipino across the globe, love the Philippines no matter what the crisis. Mahalin po natin ang Pilipinas at sama-sama po tayong bumangon muli at ipakita at ipagmalaki po natin sa buong mundo. We must be proud to stand for the Filipinos and for our entire Philippine archipelago. We say, tayo ay Pilipino, we are all true Filipinos. Isigaw na malakas ang ating panalo. We shout out our victory to the world. Taos puso at taas noo with all our hearts, keeping our heads high. Kahit kanino at sa mga manlulupig, hindi po tayo pasisiil. Lakad matatag, anumang delubyo ang dumaan. So for now, this has been another presentation of another Tamiya Mini 4 Driver Racing Action seen live on DPAT TV. Don Patrick Aguilar on YouTube. Once again, this has been another edition of DPAT's Tamiya League Stock Motor Conference Season 2. Once again, Don Patrick D. Aguilar here saying, Shukran, Tusen Tak. God bless always, everyone.